everybody, this is Rose of Sharon, and I'm back again with another movie review. I just recently saw War Games, which was actually filmed in 1983. It's about this computer called the Whopper, and this computer is owned by NORAD, and apparently the scientist that created it is presumed dead, and there's something interesting about that, but there's a kid played by Matthew Broderick. His name's David, and he's got a girlfriend. Her name's Jennifer, and I forget the girl who actually plays Jennifer, but the casting in this movie is terrific. The timing is great. It's exceptionally well done. It may not be the best movie, but it's a movie that is very compelling, especially given the topic of computers and how they wanted to take the human element out of the loop in essence of nuclear warfare. And I thought, no, if you did that, we would all be boned, because human beings are the only creatures who have a moral compass, and they have to really weigh the consequences of what that would entail. And the movie does a really beautiful job of illustrating this, and of course there's something interesting with Whopper involved, and it's very reminiscent of HAL if you've seen 2001. And of course there's a line in it that's pre-Saw, and I thought, I mean, I've never seen Saw, but I know what it's about. I'm not into slashers. I like horror films, but the computer actually asks, shall we play a game, is what he asks. I thought, that's before Saw, and yet it's still terrifying. And actually, in this essence, in this format, pardon the pun, it's even more so, just because this is not a Turing test. This is something really quite evolved from what would we consider artificial intelligence and sentience. I should say sentience. And I love technology, but sentient technology is where I draw the line, and I just, no thank you. I'll pass. I would rather throw myself someplace off the grid and not even get an inch close to something that could have that kind of power, especially since what happens at the end is just utterly frightening. But then we learn, oh, guess what? Yeah, I'm not going to say what happens, but it's a rather interesting ending, and it's a happy ending as well. And it's more of a cautionary tale. It's pedantic in its way. I give the movie 3 stars. It's not a 5-star film. It's good. It's got a great story. It has excellent characters. It's a product of its time. You can see Reagan on the walls, and the teacher in the class is actually showcasing or broadcasting the grades to every student in the class. If you did that in this day and age, you could get your butt fired out of this out of the school, out of that. You could have your license. Well, I don't think you could get your license. Well, actually, you probably could get your license taken away if you did that, because that would be considered bullying, and nobody's allowed to do that anymore. That's actually worse. That's irreprehensible. That's despicable. You can't do that anymore. And another thing, I told my friend about it while I was watching it, because I was remembering a lot of things I went through. And some schools, some administrations do continue this practice with corporeal punishment. I think if the punishment fits the crime, then yeah, go ahead with it, but I'm probably going to get hate for that. But they don't have corporeal punishment anymore. I turned out fine, but I mean, in this day and age, oh, you can't do that. It's considered abuse. Yeah, I've got so many issues with that. I'm not even gonna begin. But still, this day and age, they didn't even mention that, but he had to go to detention. They still have detention. Just so many things have changed, but the whole idea that nuclear codes, nuclear armaments, they are manned quite literally by people, and thank God, just keep it that way. Don't change it. It's a very interesting film. It's different from anything I've seen, and it's quite probable and possible that something like this could happen. Hopefully, it won't. If we did indeed engage in a nuclear warfare kind of scenario, it would probably be one of the Arabic countries like Iran or Iraq or Yemen, or I don't think Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is our friend, so they may not. Kuwait? No, I don't think Kuwait would. Doubtful. Uh, Afghanistan might if they had the ability. North Korea, they're just saber rattling. Russia, if they decided to return to being our enemy, then yeah, and same thing with China. But I don't think they will. China's kind of a frenemy. It's odd. It's a very unusual relationship. But hopefully this will never happen. Hopefully we'll never have to go through a World War III situation like they did in the movie. But I give the movie at least a thumb up at best because it's not mediocre, but it's one of those movies. It's a psychological, um, suspenseful, tongue-in-cheek film that really makes you think of what if scenarios, um, and such things as sentient um, computers, which really freaks me out. But as far as the rating, like I said, it's only a 3-star film. It's a good movie. It's really quite fabulously done. But beyond that, it's probably nothing that one would remember. I would, but just because it's different from any other movie I've seen, and is most likely Matthew Broderick's first role, and it was done by MGM, who I love, and they're coming back into their prime now with such shows as Handmaid's Tale. Um, that's basically all I have to say about War Games. So until next time, live long, prosper. John Titi.